What's up, YouTube fam? It's your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 times, and I'm back with another video. In today's video, I'll be discussing the case of Allahnia Lenoir, a 24-year-old woman who went missing in Atlanta on July 30th. Almost 2 months later, 2 suspects have been named in connection with her disappearance. One is in custody, while one remains at large. Before we get into this video, welcome if you're new here to our channel. Please feel free to subscribe, click that notification bell to get notified every time we upload. If you're rocking with the content, smash that like button, share this video with everyone you know. Make sure you watch until the end to hear the full story. This is an open and active investigation. Everything said in this video is alleged. Alright, let's dive a little deeper into Allahni's story. First, let's start with Allahni's disappearance. Over the summer, 24-year-old Douglasville, Georgia resident Allahnia Lenoir was last seen on surveillance video entering a luxury apartment building in Midtown Atlanta at 1660 Peachtree Street, but she was never seen leaving back out, according to news reports. Allahni's mother, Jeanette, told Dateline that Saturday, July 30th, was a normal day for her. She said she spoke with Allahnia on the phone and the two sent TikToks back and forth. Jeanette recalled her and her daughter having a lengthy conversation that morning. That was the last time she said she spoke with her daughter. Jeanette went on to tell Dateline that later that night, Allahnia went out with a close family friend. According to sources, that family friend was Allahnia's niece's mother. According to what Allahnia's mom told Dateline, on Sunday morning, she received a phone call from that friend. Jeanette said she, referring to the family friend, called me the next day and said, "Hey, you know, me and Allahnia went to these two guys' house and were chilling and kicking back." She said the friend then told her that she left Allahnia there under the impression that she would be okay and wanted to make sure Allahnia made it home safe. Allahnia's mother told her, no, she's not home. Jeanette said she initially didn't think anything of it. According to Allahnia's mom, it's not unlike her to spend the night at a relative's or her boyfriend's house before she would return home. But as she started to receive multiple phone calls from friends asking if she had seen Allahnia, she started to worry. Miss Jeanette said that Allahnia is not the type of person to make plans with her friends and not show up. Allahnia's mom went on to tell Dateline she reached out to Allahnia via text. She said, "Hey, these girls are making me worried. Hit me back." But Jeanette said the text messages to Allahnia's iPhone weren't going through. The iMessages changed from blue to green, Jeanette told Dateline, referring to the text messages. Then she checked her daughter's location. The last location Allahnia had was at 1660 Peachtree Midtown Apartments, Jeanette said. On Monday, August 1st, Jeanette reported her daughter missing. Allahnia Lenoir is described as 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighs 120 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes and was last seen wearing a blue shirt, blue shorts, and cream shoes. Allahnia was affectionately known as Fruity to those close to her. The Instagram page Finding Fruity was started to help bring awareness to Allahnia's mysterious disappearance and possibly help bring her home. Allahnia Lenoir was born in Chicago, Illinois, and moved with her family to Atlanta in 2008. According to what Jeanette told Dateline, she lived in the inner city of Chicago and was trying to avoid her daughter having to grow up there. Allahni's mom moved her family to the Sugar Hill area in Georgia, and eventually they settled in Douglasville, where she, Allahni, and her 8-year-old son King lived together. The family enjoys the outdoors, cooking and eating together. They were very close. A week would go by before Allahni's disappearance sparked national media attention when her family revealed that Allahni's disappearance was determined to be suspicious by law enforcement. During that time, Allahni's mother, Jeanette, said that she and dozens of family and friends searched for Allahni, especially in the area where officials confirmed she was last seen. Allahni's mother told news publications that she knocked on doors and passed out flyers. Allahni's dad, Abraham, and her mom pleaded for their daughter's safe return. Allahni's parents believed at this point that Allahni may have been kidnapped and could have been a victim of trafficking. It was not in Allahni's character to just leave without telling her family. That's why they had strongly believed she had been taken. A vigil was held for Allahni on August 7th near where she went missing. Allahni's family set up an area in Piedmont Park to share Allahni's story and bring awareness to her case. Allahni's loved ones were hopeful to find her alive. Allahni's mom was interviewed on the podcast Crime Stories with Nancy Grace, which aired on August 10th. Jeanette shared details about the building where Allahni was last seen. She said there were cameras in the apartment complex. However, she said there was no lobby area. Anyone can basically walk into the building and have access to the floors and apartments. At the time of the interview, Jeanette said that investigators had not allowed her to see the surveillance footage from the night Allahni was last seen. She said, however, investigators did later confirm to her that Allahni entered the apartment with 3 people, the friend and the 2 men they met up with. Those 3 people were later seen on their surveillance leaving the apartment, but not Allahni. According to Allahni's mom during the interview with Nancy Grace, she said that all 3 individuals had conflicting stories about when they last saw Allahni. Jeanette told Nancy Grace that the family friend, her granddaughter's mother, had told her she left Allahni behind because Allahni wanted to stay. Then Allahni's mom said the friend said she left to return to the apartment later to get Allahni. And finally, Jeanette told Nancy Grace that the friend also mentioned that her boyfriend had come to pick her, the friend, up. Allahni's mother also revealed during that interview that the 2 men also had conflicting stories about the timeline of when they left Allahni in the apartment on her own. According to Jeanette, their stories did not add up and wondered why they would leave Allahni at their apartment if they weren't that well acquainted. According to Jeanette, Allahni's case had been reassigned to another detective that handles complex cases, and a search warrant had finally been issued for the apartment at 1660 Peachtree Street, where the 2 men supposedly stayed. During the interview, she would go on to say that investigators had not been very forthcoming with information, and since the investigation was ongoing, they could only tell her that they had the surveillance and that there were inconsistencies involving the people Allahni was supposedly with that night. According to sources, law enforcement said at the time there were no suspects or persons of interest named in the case. As the search for Allahni went on, Allahni's mother released a statement to media outlets to give an update on information they had found so far. We have strong leads that suggest we should include Columbus, Georgia and Upson, Georgia, and then the surrounding areas in our search for Allahni. We have also learned that we may need more assistance due to the increased evidence and distance potentially involved in the case. So we have retained an Atlanta-based PI firm, TJ Ward and Associates, to assist in this matter. Almost a month had gone by since Allahni's disappearance, when the possibility that her body may have been moved to Columbus or Upson County, Georgia, had been reported to the media. According to WTMV 9 News, Allahni's mother said that law enforcement in Atlanta was looking into that information thanks to public tips. Allahni's parents hoped that former law enforcement officer and private investigator TJ Ward would be able to help them find Allahni. TJ Ward is known for working on the Natalee Holloway case, the young lady who vanished in Aruba years back. The private investigator told 11 Alive News that he had the resources necessary to help make progress in the case, and that any information they come across, they will turn it over to the detectives on the case. Allahni's relatives had started a GoFundMe page to raise funds to help pay for the PI as the search for Allahni continued. According to news reports, Dateline reached out to the individuals Allahni was reportedly with on the 9th of July 30th. The two men did not respond, and the friend said she was unable to speak on the phone for an interview. However, in a text, the friend told Dateline she is cooperating with the investigation. The friend, whose name is supposedly Tori, also took to her Instagram to share her version of that night, feeling compelled after she said the internet made the assumption that she was in hiding or on the run. The friend said in her alleged Instagram story, which is now deleted, that she did not just leave Allahni at the apartment with the two men. The friend said she offered Allahni a ride 3 times, and Allahni declined, citing she wanted to stay, and said that either of the men would get her an Uber home, because according to her, these weren't random men to Allahni, and she had been hanging out with them for months, and said that Allahni told her that they had done that for her before. However, the friend said that it was her first time meeting the two men. The friend said once she realized the quote-unquote party was over, she was ready to go. She contacted a friend to get a ride. When the friend agreed, she said she texted Allahni and told her she was leaving and did she want to leave with her. The friend said Allahni responded by saying no, she would get an Uber home and planned to leave around 3 a.m. to go watch her little brother. The friend wrote in the post that they all agreed Allahni would get home by one of the men getting her an Uber. The friend said she left her car behind and returned to the apartment to pick her car up the following day. She tried to get in touch with Allahni, but to no avail. That's when the friend became concerned and contacted Allahni's mother to ask if she had come home. Allahni's mother told her she had not seen her come home. The friend said she also made contact with the two men from that night, and they allegedly had conflicting stories of when they last saw Allahni. The statement she released on her Instagram story was pretty lengthy, so I won't read it all. Feel free to pause and read it if you'd like. Allahni's family, however, would refute the friend's social media posts. According to a post from Finding Fruity, Tori, the friend, has told twisted stories that make no sense. The Finding Fruity post goes on to say that the stories Tori put on social media showed how much of a narcissist she really is, allegedly. They demanded answers from her. The caption on the post read, "Don't keep hiding info and protecting them. Don't be so mean and ungrateful. This family once opened its doors to you and treated you as a part of it. So the least you can do is say everything you know." Weeks would go by as Allahnia's mother and father made several media appearances to continue to bring awareness to their daughter's case. Allahnia's mother urged people to not stop saying her daughter's name. According to an update that was given on the GoFundMe page for Allahnia on September 15th, there had been advances in Allahnia's case. The family said they were working diligently with the APD and FBI, and 2 suspects were identified as persons of interest in Allahnia's case. The family had planned to raise money for a reward for information that would help find Allahnia. Days later, on September 20th, APD announced that they were going to give an update on Allahnia's case in a press conference later that day. During the press conference, Atlanta police shared their belief that Allahnia's life was taken and that her body was then discarded or hidden somewhere. They said they do know that Allahnia did not at any point leave 1660 Peachtree Street on her own accord. APD believes that she lost her life inside the apartment and then was potentially relocated to an undetermined location. According to news reports, APD also revealed that 2 men were their suspects in Allahnia's case: Deontay Reynolds and Steve Obote, both 29 years old. These men are the same men Allahnia and the friend met up with on July 30th. According to law enforcement, Deontay Reynolds was arrested, and they're still looking for the other person, Steve Obote. Deontay Reynolds is charged with felony hit, concealing a loss of life, financial identity fraud, forgery in first degree, tampering with evidence, and possession of a controlled substance with the intent to distribute. According to news reports, arrest records show Deontay was taken into custody on September 9th. According to reports, Steve Obote, who is still at large at the time of this recording, is being charged with felony hit and felony concealing a loss of life. It's believed that Steve Obote is hiding out in the Atlanta area. Allahnia Lenoir's family are still desperately looking for answers. The Atlanta police believe that Stephen Obote does know Allahnia's whereabouts. APD said in the press conference they are hopeful that they will be able to get that information from him when he's apprehended. During the press conference, when police were asked by a reporter if the third person that was with Allahnia that night was also going to be charged, they said no. There was no indication that individual was involved. Allahnia's family is still seeking the public's help to find Allahnia's whereabouts. Her family has said that until her body is actually found, they will still have hope that she is coming home. Allahnia's mother said she plans to attend Deontay Reynolds' court hearing on October 11th. Let me remind everyone that everything in this video is alleged. All suspects involved are innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I am praying for Allahnia's family during this traumatic and trying time. I have 2 daughters myself, and I can't imagine the tremendous pain her parents and family are going through not knowing where Allahnia is or what happened to her. It's extremely heartbreaking. I hope Allahnia is found and her family can get closure to this tragic situation. I am sure there are a lot more details in this case that may come out in the future. Let me know if you would like to see updates on Allahnia's case. Okay, fam, please share your thoughts on Allahnia's case down in the comments below. Please leave some encouraging words for Allahnia's family and loved ones if you'd like. Let us hope and pray to God Almighty that Allahnia is found and that the people who are responsible are held accountable. All right, y'all, that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 times, and I'm out.